Something that's interesting to me is when I watched it last night, I don't know, this video wasn't slowed down, was it? Because when he got whatever, I couldn't, I was like,
yeah, it was late.
What's he saying?
You're 61, it was late.
Shut up. That's not the case.
John Bird, did you get your dandruff taken care of?
Yes. I've always, thank you for bringing that up. But you know what? I'm always transparent. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, but I shed a lot.
You shed?
Yeah, I shed. Well, I also shit a lot, but I mean, I shed, like dandruff, and I have this special shampoo, and it stinks really bad. And the sign of a good shampoo for like eczema and dandruff and things like that is the more it stinks, the better it is.
Well, we loved watching you wipe your dandruff off right there in your spot over here in the studio.
Yeah, and I started when I went to enjoy the bidet.
And the warm toilet seat.
And the warm toilet seat. Whoa, that's good on the butt. But what I do is like I'll wash my hands and I'll just dry them just a little bit, because that catches the dandruff better.
Ah, little traction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I use Hims, like Hims shampoo.
What?
I mean, it doesn't like, not like give me a biz owner. I mean, it might. I don't know, but I'm just it's to like thicken your hair.
Does it make your hair stand?
I guess it does. Maybe it does. But no, I use it to they've got several different products. They used to advertise with the show. You remember that?
Oh yeah, that's right. Wait a minute, they've got hers too now, right? Wasn't there a Super Bowl commercial?
Was there?
I think there was a Super Bowl commercial because they introduced the whole line.
By the way, we need to say hello to Tony Comp. He's over
oh
here.
my gosh, Tony, I'm sorry.
Good Lord. Oh, he's going over to hug you. Here he goes.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, yeah, let me too, yeah.
That man's got a job to do, John Bird. What are you doing?
He can handle it.
Yeah, they got both the products. The stint that they had on our show was very short, and that's just, it's it's the way it goes when you come with like national advertisers, which we don't have a lot of. Usually we like to be able to vet our guys locally and use local people, but sometimes like Underdog Fantasy is a national. I have no real relationship with those people, but I do use the app, and I use it on the regular basis. Tony Gupp uses it. Like, we all use it.
Yeah, I want to use it. When I get more financially solvent, I want to start using it.
Yeah. Well, just take your next paycheck and put the whole thing on there.
I don't think so.
You could double it. You
could
win up to 1,000 times your money, according to my live read.
Oh, I didn't win 1,000 times my money on Sunday, I'll tell you
I
that.
didn't either, dude. I lost my ass. I lost so bad yesterday at the Super Bowl.
I was up till Sunday.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, like, with the way I lost, I had listeners that reached out, Richard the Cop in particular, who said, yeah, I got some bets on Sunday, and based on the way that game turned out, I was like, oh, nobody won anything, because that game did not go the way anybody expected. And Richard the Cop texts the show today. He's like, I won $189 last night. And I'm like, how?
Pull that off.
How did you? How? Anyway, sometimes you win some. I mean, I've won. I've probably won as many times as I've lost. But it's just, you win some, you lose some. That's the way Underdog works.
That's life. That's life.
I mean, I've hit some where it's like, I almost hit one for like $300 or $400 one time.
Dang.
And I missed it by like 2 yards. It was while I was up in Missouri with my mom.
Damn football players.
I know. And it was the Chiefs, ironically, that I had money on doing the parlays. Underdog Fantasy, I mean, I guess I could tell you all about it. Download the Underdog Fantasy app. Use the promo code HeyNow, all one word, HUYNOW. And you get a free pick, and you get bonus cash when you deposit when you use that promo code. Anyway, one day we'll have actual real advertisers on here. We just hadn't. Well, I mean, we got people that want to be on the show, but we've been so mission focused. We hadn't done anything about it.
We're like, leave us alone. We got the country to save. We've saved the country, but now our mission should be saving the world.
Yeah. or saving us financially in case everything crashes.
Yes.
Maybe
No,
that's
no.
what
Where did that come from? No, that's negative. Look at this: Lincoln, Reagan, and Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Now, isn't it interesting that all three were shot, but
That's
only
true.
one died?
Usually the good presidents were the ones that were either tried.
Oh, wait a minute. I had Lincoln up here, don't I? Lincoln. Yeah, Lincoln. Oh, he.
Yeah, if you get shot, that means you're a good president.
Yeah, like
I think
McKinley and Jackson was attempted a few times actually.
Mm-hmm. JFK. That's
Yeah,
all the
and-
good ones get
And
shot.
Trump, man, 2-0. And
Who's the best out of those three? Your opinion? Be honest.
Okay, I love. You know how you.
I'm not
know.
asking your opinion. I'm asking you what the truth is.
Okay, I love Ronnie. And I was on a Civil War kick past week with my foot. I'll just prop it up and watch documentaries. And Lincoln, I mean, man, he did so much for this country. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Lincoln is barely first, but we ain't done with
Trump will pass Lincoln within the next
Trump.
probably 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I mean,
at this rate.
right now, I him trying to keep the country together. But you know what? Trump has an opportunity to bring the country together.
Yeah. Well, and I wasn't alive like you when Lincoln was president, so
Shut the hell up.
I don't know anything about him. I mean, I know what I've read in history
Watch your
books.
documentaries. Watch your Netflix documentaries.
So the Super Bowl, again, did not turn out like any of us expected. Did not turn out how anybody expected, whether you had a team in there or not. I know you were cheering for the Eagles. Tony Gump was kind of neutral.
Yeah, I was neutral.
I'm obviously a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And, again, you win the past two Super Bowls. This was the fifth Super Bowl they've been in 6 years.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not that bad. I wouldn't have, however, them lost by 3 points.
Yeah.
Instead of just making it an absolute, because it ruined the game. Like, the game was not, if you're just people that aren't either fan base, like the entertainment value, there was nothing there. And then all of everybody's concentration is on the halftime show and whether they loved it or hated it. But there was one thing that was universal within that stadium, and I got to give the people props. Two things, actually. First thing was, when they were doing the Star Spangled Banner, they panned to Trump, and the place went nuts.
Yeah.
And it was soon after that they panned to Taylor Swift, and they put her on the Jumbotron. And this, I want you to watch this. This is the reaction Taylor Swift got. Watch her face. They were booing the ish out of her, man.
Man, that side eye, I love it.
You know,
She did the meme there.
yeah,
you know?
the meme with the puppet monkey and his eyes are like
Oh my
looking
gosh,
inside.
that's right.
That was her. That's what she looked like. I'm fine with that. I don't necessarily like Taylor Swift. I think I actually would prefer to blame her for this loss. If you ask me,
I was rooting for the refs the whole time, but the Eagles gave them no chance.
the refs did an awful job. They were supposed to win it for us.
Oh, but yeah. No, I mean, I thought they did an excellent job. There was one bad call on the Eagles, and there was 1.5 bad calls on the Chiefs.
It's just like, but think about this. The argument has been the refs are cheating for the Chiefs over and over, year after year.
The video evidence is there, Andrew.
Why would, unless the NFL is trying to stop a three-peat from happening,
No, they're holding them accountable.
It's just like the 76 Dolphins, the only undefeated team in NFL history.
72.
72.
72
yeah.
Dolphins. And Tom Brady and the Patriots almost broke that record, and they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl, a team that didn't have a chance. Like I think,
Yeah, it's a great storyline. It makes you think.
it makes you think. Like,
that's
are
right.
they doing this? Is it rigged in order to preserve certain records?
Yeah, but I mean, how can you rig that catch when Eli Manning threw it and the guy caught it while he was like on the back of the
With
receiver?
glue. That's how.
Really?
Glue.
Well, how was he able to throw it?
Elmer's glue.
Elmer's glue. Okay, and that takes a little while longer. And while it's going through the air, it's drying a little bit.
That's
so
right.
It's perfect. Okay,
It's like super sticky by the time it gets to
I'll
the
buy it.
receiver.
Now, see, I look at the football. It's a business and it's entertainment, not an actual sport by definition with their company. So even if they did rig a game, it's not like you can sue them for, doing the sport thing. Same thing with baseball. Baseball bought the rights to the baseball itself. And as soon as they had the rights, they started looking at the number of home runs they had, and they would make the inner core of the baseball a little bit bouncier and bigger. And the next season, they had more home runs on record. Not hardly anybody knows about that.
Wait, MLB bought the rights to an actual baseball?
Yeah, they bought their own rights from a company. There's some guy in New Jersey that goes out and gets the mud they put on it, but the ball itself, MLB owns the rights to the ball, and they can change it as they go, as they want.
Conflict of interest, man.
Huh.
Yeah, that's true. I know a lot about that.
That's fascinating, actually.
Yeah, Whitey Herzog used to take a baseball before every season back in the 70s and 80s. He would take it apart, and he would bounce the inner core and see if they made the ball more, for home runs, or if they made it deader to where he would want a faster
He
team.
would adjust.
Yeah, he would adjust his strategy
Smart.
to the ball itself.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart, man.
I always thought that Pete Rose should have been
He
let
got
off the hook.
screwed.
Because he never bet against himself. He never bet against his team. And, that would be where the cheating comes in, because you can obviously throw a game in order to win the money, but you actually have to put in the effort to win the game because the other team's not going to let you win.
Yeah, that makes me mad.
It almost seems like, I guess that would have been Bartlett Giamatti, 89, would have been the commissioner. There's probably a lot we don't know that was going on, and that must have been a personal thing.
The mafia's probably involved in this
you know
stuff
it
as
is.
well.
Well, my big thing is, didn't Pete Rose, didn't he invent the head first slide?
I don't know if he invented it, but
He did.
was
Yes,
famous.
he did. Mr. Baseball, he did. I saw a Netflix special on it.
Don't make us Google it because you're going to end up being wrong.
Yeah, let's just take my word for
Every
it.
time we have to Google something, Joe Bird's wrong about it.
Well, he was known as Charlie Hustle, and he was aggressive.
Yeah.
So, this is outside of the game itself. Everybody was concentrating on the Super Bowl halftime show. Now, with the halftime show, it had been the topic of conversation around my house in the weeks leading up because my kid is a Kendrick Lamar fan, and he was all about it and everything else. So I probably knew more than the average person that doesn't listen to Kendrick Lamar. And I'll say this. I like a few of his songs. I said maybe 2 or 3 songs. It's, kind of catchy or whatever. But I'm not a Kendrick Lamar guy. Like, I've seen him do some things
He's
in
a
the
beta
past
rapper.
where
He's not an alpha. I mean, gangster. Get Ice Cube up
well,
there, man.
and
50 Cent.
he's dipped his toes in politics and social issues and everything else. And there's even one thing where he was kind of he was on stage with a crown of thorns and a white a white cloak or whatever with blood all over it, and I think he was putting out some sort of pro-abortion message or whatever. It was just weird. I will say, before we get into this, though, this was the first Super Bowl that I've watched in a while where the discussion is not surrounding a bunch of demonic imagery.
Yes.
Usually that's the conversation we're having, is that they're doing hand symbols or there's fire all over the stage or somebody's dressed up with devil horns. Like, we didn't actually see that this time. They took a different angle for some reason.
Well, I will tell you that at least it was not aggressive, but badass. I will tell you, there was one part that just really moved me, and it was at the very beginning when all of the guys with their bell-bottom hoodie outfits came out, and they were like red, white, and blue, and they came out, and they were doing this. I thought that was cool. And then I lost interest.
Yeah, I was...
I still think it's way better than the Olympic opening ceremony.
Oh, my
thing.
gosh.
That was the worst.
Yeah, that thing was actually...
Them French.
Remember, what was the one dude that was dressed up in all blue? You remember that? We did we did a whole podcast on that, and they dinged us for it because
He was like dinner at the Last Supper, supposedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
With
it.
drag queens
That was
there,
it. Yeah. So anyway, I knew a little bit about it, and so it is what it is. There's a lot of people who've been out of shape about it because they're like, just hypercritical. They don't either know who Kendrick Lamar or I couldn't understand him or what, which is fine. I get that because I've had halftime shows that I hate too. During this halftime show, though, they've got, as you mentioned, people dressed in different colors at different parts of the stage.
Right.
Well, in the back, there was a group that are dressed in black, and they're around this car that he kind of started the performance on.
Does that remind you of anything?
That black car?
No, just that scene that's up on the screen right now. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to call it as I see it there, having looked at this picture. It looks sort of like a Black Lives Matter.
It does, doesn't it?
I mean, when you just look at that still shot.
Yeah. Well, there must be a reason for that because one person that snuck in, if you see him, he's standing on the trunk right there. This is not a member of the dance crew. This is a pro-Palestinian protester that somehow snuck into the mix, and then at some point during the performance, whips out that Palestinian flag and starts running around.
Is that Kanye?
Take him down. Where's security? Take him down.
Now, the people with these other flags are part of the performance, but this guy, he's just going around waving his flag.
Where are the days when security comes running from out of the camera and takes him down?
I know. That guy, there we go. Oh, look how nice they were to him.
Okay, that's pretty good there.
Ooh, like maybe Secret Service guys or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so how did that guy get in the mix? How did he get by
Did
security?
somebody let him in?
And it obviously wasn't, at first I was like, okay, Kendrick Lamar's doing a little Palestinian head nod, a Gaza, hat tip or whatever. But then when security came up, it's like, oh no, he's not with them. Like they're trying to drag him off the
I'm
stage.
sure they have to approve. Don't you think that people know in advance that they would have to approve?
Yeah,
right off on the show.
Of course, those people on stage, they don't want them wearing press passes or VIPs because they don't want that on during the performance. But do a simple head count would be good. Mm-hmm. Be like, all right, we got 15 of each color, 15 blue ones. Wait, there's 16 black ones over here. Wonder what the deal with that is.
Yeah, it's like 15 black ones, 50 here, 15 here. We got okay, good. We got our one Palestinian flag
right.
dude, and we've got
hey, bamboozled.
Somebody let him in, man.
And a lot of people are trying to wrap their head around why Kendrick Lamar was the halftime performance, and I don't really have an answer for it, but this is my explanation. He's not a legendary rapper when it comes to an era of rapping.
Right.
He is also a lyrical rapper to where there's not a lot of showman stuff. At least in this performance, it's more concentrated on the lyrics itself. But he's not one of these guys like Eminem or Dr. Dre or Snoop Dogg that's just been in the game for a very long time. He just happened to have a really good year, and he won a Grammy for his song, They Not Like Us. They Not Like Us goes back to this story that was so big over the past year about him and Drake and their beef.
Yeah, the beef.
Okay, so I don't really understand how this all started in the first place, but one put out a diss track, then the other one did a diss track, and they just went back and forth. And then it all came to a head with Kendrick Lamar calling Drake a pedophile. I'm trying to say this so YouTube didn't get it. A P-file.
So they had an argument. They weren't actually having something about their own beef going on.
I don't know if there was something. I mean, they weren't playing with each other's beef. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Well, at Diddy parties, you never know what's going on.
That's true.
No, I don't know what the actual beef was.
What's the Diddy factor?
Yeah, there probably is a Diddy factor. But so they end up. He ends up putting this song out. They Not Like Us, and he calls him that, and he even. Makes some other references, and it starts a lawsuit. Drake starts to sue him. And I think that legal battle is still ongoing, so you would think that, he wouldn't want to go out there and perform the song until the litigation's worked out. But then why would they bring him to the Super Bowl if he's not going to do that song? Because that's what has put him on the map for people that didn't know about him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was already on the map. He had tons of people listening. But once that beef started and he came out with that song, a lot more eyeballs were on him. And so they went through the whole performance teasing that song. They would start with a song, and then they would play like the first part of that They Not Like Us, and then they would stop, and they're like, oh, you're not going to do that? And then he'd do another song, and then they'd do it again. Oh, you're not going to do that song, are you? They'd do another song. And then eventually they get to the point where he does the song. Mm-hmm. And here's a short clip of him doing that particular song where he's talking about into Drake's soul while he's singing this. All right, go ahead, yeah. So right there, he says, certified lover boy, certified P-file. And the P-file word is what got the litigation going, okay?
I bet it did.
And so he stops and doesn't say the word, court case, and I would think that Drake's lawyers probably still have an argument.
Oh, yes.
Even though they both may be P-files for all I know. I'm just speaking legalese here, that they say he just got, tens of thousands of people to say it out loud.
Them, yes.
Incited them to call me people. All right, keep going because it gets even wide. And so,
damn.
The question is like, well, what happened? Does Drake do something next? What's the deal?
Well, something that's interesting to me is when I watched it last night. I don't know. This video wasn't slowed down, was it? Because when he got whatever, I couldn't. I was like,
it was late.
What's he saying?
You're 61. It was late.
Shut up. That's not the case.
Seth.
Yeah, poor and I mean, it was and he wasn't propping his feet up or anything, all that young stuff. No, and I'm like, dude, prop your feet up.
It's not just regular gout; it's karma gout.
Yeah,
well, that's even worse.
And his foot was all like Yankee and janky and swelled up, and so I brought over some tart cherry.
Tart cherry.
Yes, and that's one of our listeners suggested that for me, and that took care of my gout. So I gave him, a bunch of those.
Well, that's got to be rough on Seth. I know he's on the carnivore diet, or he was, and if you're eating nothing but meat and you got gout, you're gonna have big problems.
Yeah, and he's like, well, no, I looked it up, and you can still eat a lot of meat and not get gout. I'm like, oh, about the uric acid. I threw out the uric acid and the Dr. Dingaling medical terms, and he was a little bit, he was like, well, it's arthritis. I said, dude, take it from someone whose arthritis runs in the family.
Yeah, take it from Dr. Dingaling.
Exactly. It's uric acid is the real one, because what happens, this is really fascinating. What happens, people are like, oh, it's my joint. No, it's not. You know what it is? It's the uric acid that it's looking for somewhere to seep. And then it says, oh, there's a toe joint. There's a little something in there. And it goes down in there.
That sounds disgusting.
It is. There's some bad shit going on in your foot, and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
But it is genetic. But I don't know if it's solely genetic. I don't know. I'm confused. Talk about something else. What is it?
With your feet, it's solely genetic.
Oh, I accidentally. Wow.
Kendrick Lamar should use that.
Yes, he should.
A minor.
So I want to read y'all something. You can put this up on the screen, Tony, real quick, but I'm going to read it from my phone, because what I want you to do is check your email, and I sent the entire Kendrick Lamar performance. If you'll just put it on mute down in the bottom of the screen while I read this, I want to read what some people are saying online is the explanation for the entire performance, because I didn't see this. I was just like, okay, it's a regular performance or whatever. Yeah, put it on the small one, so they don't ding us. I think if we have it, yeah, there we go. All right, so this says the biggest protest in Super Bowl history happened on the stage tonight, and folks are screaming it's boring or trash because it went over their head. This is what you didn't see. It says, then again, the message is blacks have always been here to entertain they who are not like us, so they aren't bored. Now, some of the grammar in this is bad, so bear with me. They rather have too. I'm like, with Samuel L. Jackson, I just went ahead and assumed that he had something political that he went, and he's dressed as Uncle Sam, and so I don't doubt that there's super deep meaning to this. But nobody's going to concentrate on it because you brought him on because of a beef with Drake, And that's what everybody knows about it.
Yeah. Thought that was a good idea. Well, some badasses sat around that conference table and came up with this. I'm telling.
Super Bowl with his twin brother.
Dave Beckham. No way. Hey, what'd you say your name was?
Affleck, meanwhile, ropes his brother Casey into attending Java Jam. Also in their corner are New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson, and Jeremy Strong, who takes his method acting to new depths.
We're doing a Dunkin' Donuts commercial, right?
Right.
I'm just trying to find the character. Acting 101, who, what, when, where, how.
The names keep coming,
Stupid.
with Jason J. Mewes and Kevin Silent Bob Smith dropping
Oh,
by
look at
Ben's
that.
booth. But the
Drewski?
centerpiece is a showdown between the Dunkings and the thinly veiled Starbucks knockoff Barista Buds. Strong delivers a mic drop as Paul Revere.
From sea to shining sea!
This commercial couldn't be more Bostonian if a Wahlberg showed up.
Alert.
Then there's Gordon Ramsay. What is that one? Keep going. Let's see if we see one that's.
Oh no, God, that one was good. Go back to that commercial with the little alien guy. Okay, the ending is great.
So right there.
Yeah, these guys. Yeah, that's good.
On a parting gift or compensation
Those
for those
guys
pizza
have
rolls.
that Detroit
You ate all
show.
my pizza rolls. These are like $100. It's kind of a lot of money, Chasmo.
No, Totino's pizza rolls are 10 for about $1.
Well, then give us about $1.
Just when you think this goodbye couldn't get any
Oh,
more
shut up.
awkward, the door crushes Chasmo, seemingly to death. We think you should leave, kids, with Tim Robinson.
They're the most snackable pizza in the
Unfortunately, that's just a part of life.
Number 5.
And she
Big Men
ruined
on
it by
Cul-de-sac,
saying it
Bud
beforehand.
Light.
They're here.
We wouldn't endorse trying to launch beer cans using your leaf blower.
Bud Light.
After seeing this commercial, though, we have a feeling it's about to become a trend. Disclaimers be damned.
Party in sec.
You are cordially invited to the end of the.
I think actually Shane Gillis and Post Malone together is pretty funny. I already like
Yeah.
Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, I give that a B-.
All right, so let's go. Let's see what else they got on here. We may not even need to drag this out. Tell me if
I
you see
thought the
one.
Jeep one was pretty good, but
See if there's a Jeep one in there.
Oh. Yeah, go back to Kevin Bacon. That was a decent one.
This one?
No.
Secret foodie history
Oh,
with
yeah.
assistance from
Oh,
famous
that's a
names
good one.
like Kevin
Go back.
okay.
I call it the National Football League.
Oh, yeah, go back.
In an era of wild
this is great.
conspiracy theories, football being a ruse to sell food is not the craziest thing we've heard. It's still pretty out there, although Matthew McConaughey sells it with his signature McConaughey-isms. The Oscar winner details football's secret foodie history with
Through the
assistance
years.
from famous names like Kevin Bacon, Martha Stewart, and Charlie XCX.
With a halftime show presented by an apple. In a stadium named after a salad.
It turns out that this is all a movie idea that McConaughey is pitching to Greta Gerwig. Well, she already reinvented Little Women for a new generation and turned Barbie's existential crisis into a billion-dollar crowd pleaser. We totally believe that Gerwig could adapt this Uber Eats commercial into a cinematic experience, even if she's not interested.
No one believes that football is just some conspiracy to sell
Food. When football makes you hungry, order Uber
See, that's a
Eats.
great commercial, and he's done several of them before.
All right. Listen, all of these, they're decent, I guess, but
Oh, Harry Met Sally.
this is, I want to show y'all the best one. Let's go ahead and ditch this because
Stupid.
Watch Mojo is not. I thought they were just going to give us the straight ads.
No,
I
they
don't want
wanted
their
to get
comment.
that click.
This was the best ad, and nobody's talking about it today. Kanye West put out a Super Bowl ad, paid millions of dollars
Really?
to put out this ad right here.
So what's up, guys? I spent like all the money for the commercial on these new teeth. So once again, I had to shoot it on the iPhone. Go to Yeezy.com.
That was pretty good. that was pretty good.
That was it.
Yeah, but no, that's not the best one, and you know it. You know what the best one was. Come on.
Oh, the seal one.
Yeah, let's see it. We haven't even looked at it. We didn't look at it.
Do it. Just search it in the search bar.
Yeah.
Just seal Super Bowl commercial.
I mean, that just jumped out. I was laughing and spit out my dip.
All right, here it is right here. You want to get the full effect.
Is this it?
This should be it.
Okay.
You know, and that's pretty good, okay. But then this.
Refreshing.
It's kissed by the perfect amount of tropical lime.
Hey, Chris Helmsworth. We're laughing about this, dude. Oh, God.
It's Stacey Abrams.
Oh, man, great lyric. Uh-oh.
There is so much as he can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my fame.
Well, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Mountain Dew Baja Blast, a blast of tropical lime.
Good-looking seal.
None of this makes sense.
Mountain Dew.
I was going to say the seal was AI, and I was thinking, did they have to get permission from him to do that? And then he showed up in
Are
the
you
boat.
kidding me, man? I guarantee you there'll be a spike in streams of his seal commercial.
I used to listen to that all the time.
Seal. Yeah.
Because it was on one of the, I think, Batman Forever. The Batman Forever soundtrack. That was the first time I heard it when I was a kid. I listened to it over and over.
I watched a little mini doc, 30-minute mini doc on how that song came about. Unbelievable.
You know what? You know who should have bought a Super Bowl commercial? The Hot Tua girl, so she could apologize for making people. Did people really lose a bunch of money because of her?
That's
Oh, yeah, they did, yeah.
So she
Her
came
boyfriend even lost money on the coin.
So she,
you mean former boyfriend, probably.
She came up with a Hot Tua digital coin. Like a Bitcoin?
Yeah, meme coin. She went and released it, but they made a big mistake. These people that held like 80 or 90% of the coins, they sold a bunch of them once it spiked up to a certain level, and they really weren't supposed to do that.
Oh, so if you own the vast majority of them, you got to hold on to them?
Yeah, there's all these rules. I'm not sure about the coins themselves, but generally in the stock market, say if Elon Musk goes and buys out a company or owns a majority, and let's say he has an IPO, initial public offering, and he puts his company public versus private, there's an amount of time he has to wait before he can sell any of those shares, or it could be against the law. He could be just ripping people off.
And these people they didn't wait until their time. What's the time frame normally?
Normally it's like a couple years, maybe a year. I think it's 2, but these people waited like 20 minutes.
Yeah, well.
They sold it that quick?
Oh, yeah, it shot up, and all the whales with all the coins sold a bunch, and it tanked right back down.
Dang,
they took everybody's money that bought in.
So a handful of people, and by handful, what are we talking? Like 2-3 people made off with a bunch of money?
Less than a dozen. I would say 5 or 6 people, I think.
And then she just disappeared. Hot Tua just disappeared.
Yeah, and you knew she was only going to have so much of a shelf life, so they certainly couldn't wait.
Well, that was the thing too. I'm like, who would invest money into something that's obviously got such a shelf life?
Well, I mean, the shelf life, it's all gambling pretty much, just like the Trump coin or the Melania coin.
So it's not based on her popularity. It's based on who's. I mean, I guess it would be to an extent.
It's a popularity type of thing because there's really no value to it whatsoever. Technically speaking, there's no value whatsoever for Bitcoin, but since the public is taking it as value, that puts value into it, even though it's just like anything else. It's a like a scam sort of. But it's not.
Are the value. We decide the value. The people. So she disappeared and didn't talk for weeks on end. And
I would have too.
She showed up on her Talk To a podcast finally with I guess I don't know, is this her boyfriend? Like, who is this guy? Maybe her manager or
Looks
something?
like it could be her boyfriend.
And this was her first time speaking publicly since that whole thing happened. So here she is.
Hello, guys. I'm back with another episode of Talk To, and I'm here with Banks.
There he is.
How's it going?
It's going good. Life's crazy right now. I don't know. I say no to every single fucking podcast. The ongoing joke on Impulsive that I stood them up 4 or 5 times. This isn't necessarily my thing, but you're in an interesting position right now, and I feel like it's my duty to come on here and talk to you. You seem like a sweet enough girl, and I feel like I know more or less what happened with you. We're gonna get into all that. I brought a couple crypto nerds with me. We're gonna sit down and talk. And,
teach me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel good. How do you feel?
I don't know. I'm still a little shook up about it.
How was the nap?
It was a very long nap. I would say that's what sucks about it too. I had to read that off a phone and like put it in my words, and I was like, anywho, I'm going to bed.
This is mainly for me, and again, why I wanted to come here and talk about this is because millions of people are going to watch this. Everybody's kind of waiting to hear what you say. Everyone's kind of waiting to see how this plays out. And 99% of these people don't know shit about crypto.
And I'm one of them.
Just like you. Exactly.
I'm one of them.
Exactly. And the ongoing joke on CT right now is like, if she just did this 2 days after Trump, she'd be okay.
Exactly.
Which isn't necessarily true because of the way it was done. And that's kind of the whole point, right? There's a right and a wrong way to do this. And if you have interest, it's mostly important that your network and the people that you trust to walk into this market are exactly that, people that you can trust.
I think that's where I messed up.
For sure. I can only imagine, fuck crypto. I can only imagine stepping into everything that your life's been the last year and the amount of time that you have been. I've been doing this whole social media content thing at a high level for like 15 years. I'm officially fucking like Unk. And I still don't, have it totally figured out. Someone like you, and my shit was gradual. I like gradually got to where I am today, and you were like fucking parabolic.
I want to start by saying thank you to all my true fans and all the people that actually watch my stuff and they keep up with me. We're trying to sort out all the pieces and stuff to like get all this figured out.
I bet you are.
Right. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry. Don't cry. Everything's gonna be good. We're gonna be good.
I'd be crying.
And guys, listen, just as a temperature check, I just want to say,
can we pause it real quick? Did she get fake boobs?
I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she didn't have those when she said spit on that thing.
Yeah, maybe they're padded. I don't know.
Because I would think,
the way girls are now, they would be bigger.
Did you pay for those with Haktua coin, ma'am? Is that where all the money went? Went to your titties? Anyway, sorry. I just had to point that out.
Amber was. The minute you DM'd me, I really wish I just texted you and called you. And that speaks to me because of how I was introduced to crypto, and we'll get into that. But I'm also kind of on the back end of things too. Like their team's been very forthcoming. My team is vetting them the fuck out right now and has been for the last week. Thread Guy and Frank, they're going to be on this episode. It's such a weird blend and mash of worlds. No,
it rolled out.
Don't cry, Haley. It's fine. It's
cry.
All gonna be okay. Life is going to be okay. Oh, okay. Haley, no.
No, don't do that. Don't stare at me.
No.
You just
You're adorable.
Just give us a minute.
Okay. It's going to be okay.
Well, so basically how this idea got brought to me, it was supposed to be like what they call it, a long-term coin. And the guy that ran the account, he was like, we're going to change like the way everybody thinks of crypto. Crypto is going to be a good place. And I feel really bad for all the people that got affected by it. And it just didn't go the way I planned. And all the money out of this episode is getting donated to all the animals that have been affected by the fires up here.
And I'll match it. Me, Ricky, I'll match it, whatever. It's really, really important for me to make sure that we address everything.
Okay, so are they in L.A.?
Evidently.
I guess, yeah, I think I did hear that she moved out to L.A. So she moved to L.A., started a meme coin. Everybody got ripped off, and she's like, oh, it's okay. We're going to do it.
I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry.
She is, I don't want to demean her because she seems like a really nice girl. But she's not a very high IQ individual when it comes to the business world. She knows nothing about it. She was in Nashville partying with her friends and then got swept into social media fame. And when that happens to an average person on the street, they're sharks all in that industry looking to come. And that's likely what happened is they showed up and they said, hey, we've got a business venture for you. This is going to make you rich. And she's like, oh, okay, let's go spit on that thing. And she goes with it.
Well, I can tell you, watching her there, she was very defensive, and I'm sure she knows she's in a lot of trouble because there was a lot of backing on that whole thing. And it's almost equivalent to like insider trading. If you work for a company and you know there's a big deal going down and you take your own money and buy into however is going to benefit that company, and they find out you did that knowing what you knew, you can go to prison.
I just feel bad for her because I can almost guarantee that she had no idea what was going on, what a meme coin was. She didn't understand crypto.
Where was her representation from? Was it from Nashville or was it from Los Angeles?
Probably from Los Angeles is why she went out there in the first place.
Right there. I mean, that's putting it out there.
I mean, Nashville's got their own set of sharks, too, so there's no telling. May have been from Nashville.
Well, I feel really bad for her, but what happened was very, very illegal.
Yes, very illegal.
But she's held into account. I guess she signed on the dotted line, and when you do that...
Sold to the devil, and then ripped a bunch of people off with a meme coin. Like, what are you in prison for? A meme coin. Haktua. Spit on that Bitcoin.
Man, that won't go well for her if she gets prison time. She won't get prison time.
Money has been the topic of conversation over the past week or so. We have talked a lot about it. You got Doge, you got Elon Musk. They're exposing fraud at an unheard of level, unlike anything we've ever seen.
You couldn't make this up.
And with as absurd as the findings are, it's even more absurd to watch the Democrats freak out about this because none of them are addressing the fact that this fraud is being found. Like, I wish somebody would just come up and say, okay, I understand you're upset. You want to go after Trump and Elon and everything. But can you explain why this is not really bad? And, or do you agree that this is good we found this out and that we need to clean it up? Nobody's asking them that question, and they're avoiding it like the plague. This is Jasmine Crockett today in a profanity-laced tirade against Elon Musk.
I'm going to try my best not to preach. I just want to say thank you, because every day that we show up in D.C., we show up for you. We know who we work for. We know that we work for the American people. And what we're not going to do is stand around while they pull this bullshit that they trying to pull right now.
Go ahead.
This is why I'm not going to be able to preach, because I probably won't be able to stop cussing.
Take your time.
But let me tell y'all something. I know some of y'all have been frustrated, and you've been saying, where are the Democrats? Where are our leaders? Well, I'm here to tell you that we ain't never left y'all. All right?
Right.
We are here. We are also going to make sure that they uphold the law. We are not going to sit around while you go ahead and desecrate our Constitution, or you look at the laws that have been passed into law and say, never mind, we'll just ignore that. Instead, we are going to be in your face, we are going to be on your asses, and we are going to make sure you understand what democracy looks like. This ain't it. So let me tell you something, Mr. Trump. You're going to learn a few lessons from us. And I'm going to be the first one. You and your little friend off of Twitter, y'all about to find out, all right? Now let me be clear.
Trump would eat her lunch.
What Maxwell said is true. Our job is to conduct oversight. We both serve on the oversight committee. And right now, as elected leaders who try to go in, we were told, well, hold on a second. We got to check to see if you can come in.
That was a great video, by the way.
It really was.
Now, y'all know he likes to pal around with Putin, right? He's trying to turn us into Russia. But I got news for him. We, the people, will not go.
That's right.
By the way, the guy to her left looks like a meme coin. Does he not?
Yeah.
It's cold out here.
Oh, her left?
And y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Our
won't go.
left.
We won't go.
Anyway, that's
We
enough
won't
of
go.
her. That's enough.
Yeah. And you know,
he looks like a cartoon character.
He does. She does too. I mean, old Maxine always has to me.
Maxine looks like the face of democracy.
She does. She looks like the face of a Muppet is what she looks like.
Careful.
Anyway, is that going to get me in trouble? Maxine, Muppet Maxine? And then there's this guy. Played him on the show earlier today. This is a pastor out of Chattanooga saying that the Christian thing to do is to take to the streets and commit violence against these people that are exposing government fraud.
Pharisee.
And in this nation, I'm worried that we are on the verge of bloodshed. This is an attempt to take us back to a day that we do not want to go and we will not go. So therefore, there will be conflict. I pray that the peace of God will win out and overcome the madness that is attempting to take over this nation. And I will say to you, beloved, no one likes violence, but sometimes violence is necessary. When Elon Musk forces his way into the United States Treasury and threatens to steal your personal information and your Social Security check, there is a possibility of violence.
Needs your Social Security check.
Sometimes the devil will act so ugly that you have no other choice but to get violent and fight. Well, someone might say, now, Reverend, you shouldn't be talking about violence.
He's reading his DNC emails.
This isn't the Christian thing to do.
He's got that USA
I will
money.
say, why not talk this way? Because Jesus did.
No, he did not.
Jesus said in this key verse, didn't he? The kingdom of heaven suffers what? Violence. And the who? The violent take it by force. The kingdom of God
out of context
is a war zone. It is a battlefield. You did know this, right?
Yeah, we know what side you're on.
Yeah, he's reading his DNC
Satan, get behind me.
Saying, hey, we don't have any more USAID money for you, but if you'll read this to your congregation, we can cut you a check. All right, and we got to get out of here. We're running out of time. But last but not least, everybody remembers the the big rapper girl.
Yes.
The large rapper girl who tried to get in a Lyft, ordered a Lyft. They got there. They said, you're too big to get in my car. And now she's suing Lyft for like $5 million. She showed up on the Breakfast Club. Okay? This is Charlamagne the God and all this. Yes. Did somebody say breakfast?
Omelets and stuff.
She gets there and she's like, this ain't no breakfast buffet. Anyway, I want you to watch. This is amazing. Watch how this transpires.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Hi, how are you?
Stormy, how you doing?
Oh,
Ken, how you, brother? You good? Nice to meet you, Ken.
Beefcake.
Yep. This the only seat y'all got?
What you want? What you need?
There's one more. A bigger chair or something.
Is she already little?
Good. This is accommodation.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
That's your Lyft XL chair.
You walked in and you said the chair was too small, so we had to bring the part of the sectional for you to sit in. And you said something. You said, now this is what I'm talking about, accommodations, right?
Yes.
But we live in a world that's not always going to be able to accommodate people that are
But we
plus
should,
size.
though. We should, because we not all the same, you know? I feel like we should. Like, why not? I feel like a lot of times people think that bigger people, obese, the F word people should just be in a house. When it's like, we not.
Word?
Yeah, the F word. I'm not
You
about
heard
to
that you can't say in your house.
Yeah.
Fat. You don't like it.
Oh!
I'm not saying that word.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the gay slur. I'm like, wait, I'm confused.
No.
But I just feel like it should be accommodated. Bigger people should be accommodated, just like we accommodate the LGBT community.
Not anymore.
All those other communities. I just feel like we outside. If we inside, is get up. Why you in a house? You should be doing this. You should be doing that. When we outside, it's like, why you not in a house?
Well, people would say
what?
Okay, John.
Who actually told you that? Because, that's crazy. I don't believe that, F people should stay in the house. I mean,
F people.
I mean, that's how it is. We go outside and people looking at us crazy, like, we getting stared at for what?
Because you dressing like a skank.
You're dressing like a skank and you're 900 pounds. That's why.
LGBTQ, and a lot of people would say, well, LGBTQ.
Okay. Listen. She's comparing herself to gay people. Man. Oh, I can't get enough of that, man. She walks in. They had to move the whole couch from the other side of the room. You got another chair.
And I don't believe any of them agree with her, but they're trying to.
No, I know. Charlemagne's like, please don't eat me. Let me get out of here alive. I'm just here to do my job. Anyway. All right, we got to get out of here. So let's do what we normally do. Final words, Tony Gump.
Final words after this episode. I didn't watch the whole Super Bowl. I just caught glimpses of it, but I liked the Jeep commercial. I like the fact the halftime show wasn't satanic. Very proud about that. I think the country's heading in the right direction. Looking forward to JFK Files this week, I predict. And lots of more truth bombs coming out. We need to keep this corruption at a standstill and stop all payments and keep Elon going.
John Bird.
Dandruff. I think that the reason I shared, I mean, you know, think of it, if you have dandruff, think of it as like a snowstorm of love. You know, I mean, you have to find a positive way to look at it. Now, you don't want to be, you know, you don't want to say the D word and you should be accommodated. You know, I mean, that's BS. I mean, you know, love your dandruff, embrace it. It frustrates me. But you know what? I've learned to love my dandruff. I'm having trouble working on loving my gout. Now, I will say that. But you know what? That's part of loving yourself. You know, is loving your maladies.
That's very...
You know, I think that's very important. And I do have some good news.
Okay.
I've been using some Equate hemorrhoid cream. And my anal fissures are doing much better. Yeah, now people think that's gay and everything. It's not. What happens is with hemorrhoids, if your butt itches, if your butt itches and you don't, I mean, I keep it clean, but I wipe a lot because, you know, sometimes when you go into the bathroom, you'll wipe.
Sometimes the wiping never ends.
Yeah, and it's like a marker. It's, you know, you just like, keep wiping. And what happens is you dry out your anal area. Okay? So what happens is then that will lead to scratching. And my problem is you can see I keep my nails really short now because it will create, not in the anus. I'm not talking about in the anus. I'm talking about around it. You know, you can like scratch your skin under there. That's what anal fissures are. And then, you know, it can be very, very painful because I will tell you a couple times in my sleep, I've just dug in there and just yanked skin out and everything. I mean, and it's awful. So I'm really working on that. So, own it. I don't love anal fissures. I'm working on that, but I hope not to have them anymore. I've been using them on the hemorrhoid cream on a regular basis. I'm just pulling back this curtain.
We'll definitely be clipping this.
Please pray for me.
All right, we're going to get out of here.
God, what the hell have I just done?
Until next time.